Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. In this video, I'm sharing what my family had for dinner this week. Thanks for stopping by. It's Sunday and it's football season, so we are having wings. And to get this sauce for these wings started, I have a cup of apple cider in this measuring bowl thing, and I am putting in another quarter cup of soy sauce. Sorry for the background noise. Somebody has a loud truck in our neighborhood. So anyway, I'm just getting those two things mixed together. And I'm adding a couple tablespoons of crushed red pepper. We want these to be really spicy. We like hot and spicy at our house. But if you don't like spicy, then just don't add it to your sauce. So then I added a couple of tablespoons of brown sugar. Give that all a mix. And then I'm just going to add some garlic and some onion powder to this, and then just stir it all in and get that all incorporated. And looking back, I should have added more brown sugar. I normally do add a lot of brown sugar to this, and that's where your sauce will get all sticky and caramelized and kind of thick, and that just didn't happen with my sauce. So later you'll see me adding some barbecue sauce to this, but normally it works out well that I can just bake these and the sauce thickens right up. But since I was using apple cider this time, I didn't want it to be super over the top sweet, but maybe I could have added some cornstarch or something just to thicken it up, and then I wouldn't have to fix my sauce in the end. So I just pour that all over these chicken wings and then just cover it with foil. And then I'm going to put these on a baking sheet because they do always seem to bubble up and boil over and make a sticky mess. And speaking of sticky messes, here I am making one because, like I said, these did not thicken up like they usually do, and so I tried to pour some of that sauce and juices off of it and just kind of managed to pour it down the front of my stove and onto the floor. So after cleaning up that mess, I moved these onto a baking sheet because I found that my husband and my kids like it better when the skin is a little more crispy. They don't get really super crispy, but they do just kind of firm up because they just don't like that soaking, soggy skin, I guess. And the chicken wings will be like super tender, like fall off the bone tender. And then this just gives the outside a little bit of firmness. So while these are in the oven, I'm going to work on getting that sauce thickened up. And so to begin with, I just put more brown sugar in there. I don't know why it didn't occur to me just to add some cornstarch and thicken it up. But next, I decided just to use some of the barbecue sauce that I had in the meatballs because it was my husband's choice to pick out what we had for dinner. And so we were having beans and franks, barbecue meatballs, and wings. Oh, and tater tots and baby carrots and ranch dip. So anyway, here are the meatballs that had been in the oven also, and I just got them out and gave them a stir to make sure that all of the meatballs were covered in the barbecue sauce. And this is just some barbecue sauce out of a jar, and I can't remember if it was Sweet Baby Ray's or not, and some frozen meatballs. Once I fixed my sauce with some barbecue and some more brown sugar, then I just started to pour it over these wings, and then I'm going to put them back in the oven for another 15 or 20 more minutes on 400 to make sure that they get that nice and sticky outer saucy layer. And they turned out perfectly because they had that heat that we wanted as well as the sweet and savory flavor that the guys like. And so they were perfect for football watching. And here is my plate. That always seems to happen when I make food that everybody likes, you know, like meatballs for kids and wings for Bill. I end up taking everything. The next meal, I wasn't that motivated to cook. I just put some brats and some better cheddars into a pan with a little bit of water in the bottom to get those started on the cooking process. It had been a rainy day and a long day at work, so when I came home, I just didn't want to make anything too complicated. And this seemed like a fast and easy way to get dinner on the table. I just opened up a bag of California mixed vegetables and added some soy sauce. Once the water had cooked out of my pan, I just made sure that the brats all had a nice sear on every side. And that was all. I turned the heat down on low and let them finish cooking through. I just added some shredded cheese to my brat and dinner was served. Next, I'm making crock pot scallop potatoes and smoked sausage. And I'm using this mandolin to slice my potatoes, and I get nervous just watching this. But yeah, it gives me chills just watching this because once upon a time when I first got this thing, I sliced off half of my thumb. Well, not half, but the whole side of my thumb literally was in the crock pot with the potatoes. And that was very painful. I do not want to make that mistake ever again. And I will most definitely be way more careful and always use my guard when I am down low enough to where fingers and knuckles can get close to this thing because it is very, very sharp. So I'm just getting these potatoes all sliced up and in the bottom of the crock pot. So once I get that first layer in there, what I am going to do is spread them out evenly in the bottom, and then I just take a spoonful of flour and just do a light dusting onto the top of these potatoes. This is the way that Grandma Charlie taught me how to do these years and years and years ago. She wasn't my grandma, but her name was Grandma Charlie. And so then I'm putting on some salt and some pepper and some garlic and onion powder. And then I will just cover these with milk and then do another layer of potatoes and flour and seasoning. So you can also put cheese in between these layers, but since I was doing this in the crock pot and not in the oven, I didn't want to put the cheese in the middle just yet. So in the oven, these do tend to cook up a little bit differently, and I tend to mix them all in a little differently. But in the crock pot, I wanted to make sure that the potatoes were in the bottom layer, or yeah, the bottom section of the crock pot where it gets the hottest. And I'm just flipping some of these over because I want to make sure that every particle of the flour is getting touched by the milk. So I had to use skim milk on this day. It did turn out fine, but I do like to use the heavier fat or creamier textured milk. Like even half and half is good in this. But I had skim milk, so I'm making do the best I can. There. So here I am finishing off this second layer with those seasonings that I used the first time around, and then making sure that I get that milk on there and cover everything up really good. And I don't want to do too much because, like I said, I'm making these in the crock pot, and they do cook differently in the crock pot than they do in the oven. All of that steam and moisture is going to stay inside the crock, where in the oven, some of it would escape and it would make them dry out a little more. So I had this bright idea that, hey, I might try to cut this sausage this way, and it was a no-go. But I tried. So I cut it up with a knife, and then I'm just adding that on top. Now this will only have to heat through, so I'm just putting that on top of those potatoes because like I said, I want those potatoes to be done when I have my lunch break from work and get home and check on this. So the very last thing that I'm doing is adding some shredded cheese. Now, normally I would slice up onion and put it into the layers with the potatoes, but I just have not been feeling onions lately, so that's why I just used onion powder. And when I came home on my lunch break, this is what I had for dinner at 4 o'clock. And they were so good. Next, I was having a pretty frazzled evening. We had 2 grandkids over to spend the night, and I was doing a pizza night for everybody. So I just started off by putting some spaghetti sauce on these really thin pizza crusts, and I have some of the naan. They come in a 2-pack, so I'm using some of those for pizza crust, and this pizza is mine. I did some jarred Alfredo sauce and some Parmesan cheese, some spinach, some canned mushrooms, and some chicken that I boiled up earlier. So I like the frozen spinach. It's easier for me to digest with my digestion problems, and I do not like the stems on spinach, so I tend to go for the the frozen, and just squeeze all of the water out of it before I put it on. Cameron wanted a barbecue chicken pizza, so I am just putting some barbecue sauce on the crust, and I did too much, so I took some out and I'm mixing it in with the chicken. And so then I'm just adding a layer of cheese and then topping it with the remainder of the barbecue chicken. So those were our special pizzas. Dawson and the 2 little kids and Bill, they just wanted pepperoni pizza. Dawson and Bill did end up having chicken and spinach and onions on theirs as well. Like I said, this was a pretty hectic night for me. It was getting a little late. I didn't have anything really prepared, so I had a mess all over the place, and I'm trying to film and show everything that I was doing, and it was just kind of, I think I should have planned it out a little better. This was meant to be a really easy pizza night, but it kind of turned into me going a little bit crazy in the process. But I made it through, and everybody did like their pizza. The crust that I got for the larger pizzas did come from the Dollar Tree, which I was pretty surprised that they turned out so good. And here is the barbecue pizza. I'm getting ready to cut that into pieces, and Miss Ava has noticed that the camera is on, and so of course she's hamming it up. But she's so cute. She was saying she didn't want to eat pizza, but she wanted to help, and she ended up having something else. So I need to make a notation that she is not a big fan of pizzas. And here I'm just letting her goof it up a little bit. Being a grandparent is so much fun. We just enjoy these little people so much when they come over. Say hi.
Hi.
Careful. I can't see you.
Dad?
There you are.
Dad.
Okay. What do we need to mix the cupcakes in, you guys?
A spoon.
And what else?
Hmm.
A bowl?
Yeah, a bowl.
We'll move those out of the way.
Can I help?
Yes, you can help.
Crack.
Right now, we're going to show what we're making.
We're gonna make some cupcakes.
Yes, we
Is
are.
it cupcakes?
It is cupcakes.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're cupcake. Cupcake bottom.
Someone gonna help?
Mm.
All right. So get it all in the bowl.
It smells like chocolate.
Yes, chocolate. Dark chocolate fudge.
Ooh, that looks yummy.
Smells good.
Mm.
Does it smell good, baby? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have to crack egg?
Maybe Grandma will crack the eggs.
I would crack an egg. I'll crack egg. I'll crack the egg. What is that? Can I crack the egg, Grandma?
Jeez. Hold on. Something in it first, don't we? So we need eggs first.
Yeah, let me crack an egg.
Here, honey. Here. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got it in my finger.
Yeah.
Did you get it on yours?
Hold on, I'll get you a towel. Now it's time to mix. And do it gently, please.
What does gently mean? Slow?
Yes.
Ooh, that looks like chocolate.
All right, I got 18 cupcakes out of this cake mix, but I did fill my cups extra full. And I had to wait until the kiddos went to bed to frost these cupcakes because I had just had it. Let's just be honest. I'm a grandma. My nerves are not what they used to be. So they were pretty wild. They were pretty wired up. And maybe that's my fault because I let them have a cupcake at bedtime. So I did frost a couple and let a few people have some, including the kids. And, you know, I paid for it. And I did have to wait until they went to bed to be able to frost these cupcakes. And I want to say it was probably about 11:30 or midnight before I got around to doing it because my feet were killing me just from running around, being in the kitchen. I had a lot to do before they came over, and then, you know, they wanted 5,000 drinks and 10,000 snacks. So my feet were a little sore, and I needed to sit down for a little while. And so then when I got back around to it, I knew I had to finish off these cupcakes and get them put up for the night. Otherwise, they would be dried out, and I wanted to make sure to give my son some cupcakes, and that was the whole point, that Ava and I wanted to make not cupcakes, but cupcakes for her dad's birthday, which was Friday. And so I did pack some of these in a cupcake holder for her to take home when she went home the next day. And I think they just turned out so adorable. On Saturday, we went to the Mexican restaurant to celebrate my oldest son, Ben's 32nd birthday. And so here is just a little shot of what we all had to eat. It was very good, like always. And my husband always gets the same thing, of course. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please make sure you subscribe. Bye for now.